it's Kayla and it's Booktube-A-Thon 2018, my 4th Booktube-A-Thon. Whoa! And the first thing you might be asking is, Kayla, you haven't been on your channel in about a year? And yes, that is correct. And we're not going to talk about that right now. I'm a 21-year-old college student going through a lot of stuff, and I don't think I need to have an excuse, but I did go to BookCon this year as well, and I did take footage of both days I went, Saturday and Sunday. Unfortunately, I have not edited it or posted that footage, and I am sorry for that. That is inexcusable, but hopefully those videos will come out very soon after this week, after Booktube-A-Thon. But right now, I'm going to get into the reading challenges for this week. Those of you who don't know, Booktube-A-Thon is a yearly readathon hosted by Ariel from Ariel Bissett. She is a magnificent booktuber who does so much for the community. I am in awe of how much she does every year for this readathon for everybody out there, and I'm just so excited to read with everybody again all at the same time, trying to finish the same goals. It'll be so much fun. So without further ado, here are the books I'm going to be reading for these challenges this year of 2018. Okay, let's go. So the very first challenge is an extra special one. Ariel always comes up with the greatest challenges, and they're so unique, and I have no idea how she does it, but this is really fun. So the first challenge is a coin toss, which means you pick 2 books, and whichever one is heads or tails, whichever you toss, and fine, you know how coin tosses go. That is the book you're going to read. I don't really need to explain more. So, I have 2 books here. The 2 books I have here are Autobiography by Christina Lauren and History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. Both of these books include romances between 2 boys, but History, of course, with the Adam Silvera fashion, has a very depressing and sad tone, while Autobiography, I believe, is a more lighter book. I can't really say because I haven't really dug deep into reviews about this book, but both of them interested me. History Is All You Left Me is technically the only Adam Silvera book I have not read. I'm actually currently reading What If It's Us, which I did get at BookCon, but I'm not really that far into it, so I think we're going to put that book aside in order to read the books I have this week. But these are the 2 books I have. History Is All You Left Me is about a boy named Griffin, and when his ex-boyfriend dies, he's in a really dark place, and the only person he can find solace with is his ex-boyfriend's current boyfriend at the time, Jackson, if that makes sense. So these 2 people, they kind of become friends because of their mutual loss, but that's kind of where the story takes off. And if I do get to pick this book, then I will be excited to read it. So I've had Autobiography for a while, and from what I know of it and what I read from the synopsis, it is about a boy named Tanner who is a bisexual teen who's not so out of the closet, I believe, and his best friend Autumn forces him to go outside of his comfort zone and joins a class at his school that involves writing a novel. And then there is another boy in his class, Sebastian, who is a Mormon prodigy, and of course Tanner falls for him and romance ensues. Who knows? We'll see. Let's do the coin toss. Coin toss? Coin toss. Alright, I have a quarter here, so we're going to do History Is All You Left Me for heads and Autobiography for tails. Let's see. It's tails! I couldn't tell because it's one of those special coins that don't have the traditional eagle on the back. But yes, tails was it. You can't see that because it's blurry and I don't have autofocus, but I'm reading Autobiography! The next challenge involves a book that has something you've always wanted to do in it, and that can mean a lot of things, whether it's a place you wanted to travel to, a profession you wanted to pursue, but the book I chose was Lumberjanes Volume 3 by Noelle Stevenson. Now, I started Lumberjanes like a long time ago, and I had only read the first 2 volumes, but now I have a few more, and I'm kind of behind, and Lumberjanes includes something that I've sort of done, but not to the fullest extent. So Lumberjanes revolves around a sleepaway camp, and I have done day camps in my day. I went to day camp all throughout my childhood and was even a camp counselor, but I never got that full experience of a sleepaway camp where you go off into the woods and you sleep in bunks and you're there for the whole summer. I never did that. I went home at the end of the day, and I've always wanted to know that experience, and even though I've read the first 2 Lumberjanes before, this technically qualifies for that challenge, so yes, this is the one I'm going to be reading. The next challenge is one I am quite excited about, number 3, and that is read a book to movie adaptation. Ariel does this one every other year of Booktube-A-Thon, and I knew immediately which book I wanted to do because it's one that I've been wanting to read for a while, haven't got to it, never saw the movie, and that is The Martian by Andy Weir. I am so excited to read this book. It's been so long. Sci-fi is my absolute favorite. I've heard nothing good things about this book and its movie adaptation. The Martian is about a man named Mark Watney who goes on an expedition. He's an astronaut. He goes with his crew onto Mars just to check things out. But what happens is there's an incident that occurs and his crew thinks that he's presumed dead, so they leave, but he's alive and he's stranded on Mars and he has to learn how to survive on his own, and nobody knows where he is, what's going on, and I heard it's pretty funny, so I'm excited and I cannot wait to watch the movie as well. Challenge number 4 is to read a book with a green cover. There's always one challenge like this every year where you have to read a specific book with a specific color on the cover, and this year it's green, and the book I chose was Newt's Emerald by Garth Nix. I have actually recently gotten this book. My friend didn't want it, so she gave it to me, and I'm very thankful. This has been on my TBR list on Goodreads for a very long time, and from what I know of this, it is a historical fiction fantasy book with a woman named Lady Truthful, aka Newt, and she has an emerald. I think that's been a part of her family for a long time, and the emerald gets stolen, and through a series of events she has to dress up as a boy to try and get it, and goes on a big adventure, yada yada yada, chaos ensues. You get the gist, so this is what I'm going to be reading for that challenge, because you know, there is dark green here, we have some turquoise in the back, in the lettering, there's kind of like a really, really light, like yellowy green. From what I can tell, that's not like straight yellow, but yeah, it counts. This next challenge I think is absolutely hilarious, and I think that Ariel did such a job well done. And that challenge is to read a book wearing the same hat the whole time. Now that does not mean read a book in the same spot without getting up, but anytime you're reading that specific book, you have to wear the designated hat you choose. So first I'm gonna say the book, then I'm gonna talk about hats, because you know, there's a lot to say. I wanted to choose a book that's kind of short so I didn't have to wear the hat the whole time, especially in the summertime. Even though it's good for shading yourself, it's also pretty hot out here in New York, so I didn't want to wear something that would make me sweat a lot. But the book I chose was Deadly Class Volume 6 by Rick Remender. If you know me and you know this channel, you know that I love Deadly Class, and it is one of my absolute favorite graphic novel series. And I've owned this copy for a little while now, and I just haven't gotten around to reading it, but I love this story so much, and I cannot wait to get into the 6th volume. A little backstory is about this boy named Marcus, and he is homeless. He's a 15-year-old homeless boy. This is the beginning of the series in volume 1, and he's an orphan and he's on his own, and he gets recruited into a high school for assassins, and chaos and violence and all the crazy things go on. This is not for children. There's a lot of violence and sex and drugs and swearing, so if you're not of age, I wouldn't suggest it, but it's really good. Now moving on to the hat portion. Something you don't know about me is I like hats a lot. I'm a hat connoisseur, and I might not wear them a lot on this channel, but otherwise, yeah, I got how many baseball caps and a bunch of floppy hats. So I think what I'm gonna do is, I don't really know which one to choose, so I think I'm just gonna like jumble these up, throw them in the air, and pick one, because that's fun. So I think we're gonna go, oh, here's my bowler hat. Well, one less hat to choose from, or 2. 3, 2, 1, Well, my bowler hat's the only one that landed somewhat near my person, so this isn't the one I'm gonna wear. Challenge number 6 was an interesting one, and it was to read a book with a beautiful spine. And that's so true that Ariel said that a lot of people pay attention to the covers of books but never really the spines, and it's strange because that's really what you look at on your shelf all the time. And it was very difficult to pick one because I feel like people who are in the development of the book and the artistry and the graphic design, it doesn't even seem like they really pay attention to the spines from what I can tell most of the time. But this one is really special and so pretty, and I've been wanting to read this book for a long time anyway, so here it is. This is my special edition of Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, and it is absolutely beautiful. Not only the cover, which is so pretty with its sparkles and its old illustration, and the back, oh my god, and like the hardness of it, like no dust jacket, but the spine, like look at this, it's so pretty. It has like stars and like lines across, like little designs, and the sparkly Peter over here, and a little mermaid. This design, the person who is in charge of designing this book overall is beautiful, and now I can read it because of its pretty spine, and I've been wanting to read this book forever because I am a fanatic for Peter Pan in general, so yay, can't wait. And lastly, challenge number 7 is always the same one, which is read 7 books to round out the week, and the book I chose for that was Lumberjanes Volume 4. I already talked about Lumberjanes earlier, but this is just one I wanted to pick because it's something I'm familiar with and it's a little shorter, so I have a better chance of getting to it. So that's pretty much it for this challenge, not much else to say. And that is it for this challenge. Those are the books I'm going to be reading for this Booktube-A-Thon. I cannot wait to get to reading with you guys, and I'm so excited. I think I might actually vlog this time, like the entire week, because I know I vlogged one day a couple years ago for Booktube-A-Thon, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to get to the video challenges this year because I'm actually going to have a very busy week and I don't know if I'll have time. So vlogging could be a better option, and I've also found that I really enjoy vlogging. It's something much more casual and easy to do, accessible, so on and so forth, so maybe that's what I'm going to do. But anyway, that is all I have for you today. I'm going to go, and I will see you sooner rather than later with a new video. Bye!